morning, everyone. Welcome to today's LinkSpring webinar. We're excited to have you here. I'm Tanya Peterson, LinkSpring's Marketing and Communications Manager. And I also have with me today our Mark Peacock, Chief Marketing and Communications Officer. Also have Vance Wheeler, Operations Technology Manager, Kirk Brockman, our Operations Technology Support Engineer, and Angela Matuzik, with our Marketing and Communications Specialist. Just a few housekeeping items. We will be recording this webinar, and we'll make it available to you later today via LinkSpring's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to us there. We'll also hold a Q&A session following the presentation, where you can feel free to add your questions to the chat feature, and we'll take some time to answer your questions. Also, always feel free to reach out to the marketing team. We're happy to help you if you have any questions. You can always reach us at marketing@linkspring.com. We have also made all of the Genesis Edge VAV technical documentation available to you as well on our resources portal. Just simply log in and you have access to that there. Our new controller does also require a new training session prior to purchase. You can check out additional information on available training sessions, both on our main website for the classes we have available. We have several slots still open August 11th, 9 and 1 o'clock, and also August 23rd at 9 o'clock, and August 25th, 1 o'clock. And we'll be adding more times in the near future. So you can check out training available there on our main website, linkspring.com/training, or in your resources portal under the Training and Learning Center page. So without further ado, our team is excited to introduce to you our newly launched Genesis Edge VAV controller. This new product release has the power and flexibility of a cost-effective, IT-enabled controller with Niagara 4. It is ideal for zone-level temperature and air quality control applications from small and medium locations to large commercial building complexes. It also has a comprehensive library of factory-engineered control programs that saves you engineering and commissioning time. It also is ASHRAE Guideline 36 compliant and suited for most any variable air volume and temperature application. Now it is time. We'll turn the time over to Vance Wheeler and Kirk Brockman to give you a great overview of this new product. Thank you, gentlemen.
Good morning or afternoon for those of you on the East Coast. We're very excited to finally actually be releasing the VAV Genesis Edge controller. Just a couple things. Number one, it is a IP-based controller. We've got some built-in tools that we've done this to make it a little easier for the installation and to move forward easier with the Niagara background. It makes installation a lot simpler. We do a lot of things. We build graphics for you. Then we'll get into that stuff. And the controller itself is 6 universal inputs, 4 universal or analog outputs, 4 digital outputs, and then we do have the 15th input, which is our differential pressure sensor. So when you get the controller, it is fully commissioned. It's got the software loaded on it already. It's ready to go. The only thing that has to be touched on the controller right now is the IP address. We need to load the IP address into the controller. Licensed. We'll get in that a little bit later. And spanning tree, ASHRAE G36. This is a standard developed by ASHRAE on how the industry is supposed to be controlling the VAV controllers. We will be providing the complete sequence of operations. We just have to get through the legal definitions of how we can present those. But G36, instead of having every engineer in the country coming up with their own best sequence of operations, they have provided a sequence of operations for us. We are fully G36 compliant, but we've also added some things in there so that if you need to customize your station, you can customize that station with the G36. So on that, the VAB, we've got the balancing tool. The balancing tool is built into it so that the balancer can come in there. He can override everything he needs to override on that controller to completely check it out. To force the boxes to max, force them to minimum, put the K factors in, turning the heating on and off, everything that we need to do with that. It's got a commissioning tool that we'll get into details in a little bit later. All of the analog outputs and digital outputs are fully configurable. So if we need to move your digital outputs, we did a drive open, drive closed actuator for auxiliary heat. The electrician hooked them up backwards. We can go in and easily change those through software to determine what the digital outputs are supposed to be on that. Some of the universal inputs are configurable. In the next version, all of the analog inputs will be completely configurable. We support auxiliary heat. We do support analog, digital, floating actuators, so fin tube, whatever flavor of fin tube that you may have, radiant panels, we have those applications built in already. Exhaust fans, we've got 4 sequences of operations for exhaust fans. And we do lexicons so that we can support renaming of points. Spanning tree. Spanning tree is what enables the VAB to keep from being home run. So spanning tree allows you to go from the network switch to the first VAB controller to the second, to the third, to the fourth, which is a normal daisy chain. With the last VAB controller, from its secondary output, we route that back into the primary or back into your network switch so that we actually create a loop. Spanning tree has been developed to allow you to have that loop in there. And if you have a break in the network cable, or if a controller goes down, we can route back around that down controller. So it gives us some level of redundancy. Licensing, we have a 3-device 50-point license that comes with the VAB controller. It's a special license for VAVs, application-specific controllers. We can't change that license. We can't modify that license. It's what it is and what we have on it. We do use, for digital communications right now, we do the BACnet or Modbus sensor, depends on the sensor that we have. All the points for our sensors right now, we automatically bring all those points in. So if you have a digital sensor, we've brought those in for you. It's a supported digital sensor. We bring all those points in for you. So ASHLANE Guideline 36, we talked about a little bit. It's got diagnostic software in it. It comes back and it has all the alarmings built into it. It also does a feature called trim and respond. So we go ahead and we calculate the discharge air temperature and discharge air static for your controllers based off of all of the information that's coming in. We've built all that stuff in there. We've followed those guidelines. So it's one more thing that we provide to you as part of the package. The Onyx Rapid Integration Tool. This is the part of the software that has all of the time-saving tools in it. Everything we do starts with a spreadsheet. We put all of our information into that spreadsheet. Once you launch the Rapid Integration Tool, it'll go out, grab that spreadsheet, pull in all those VAVs. You import them similar to what you would do to any other integration after you discovered them. We build the graphics for you. We build the supervisor graphics and the local graphics based off of the VAV that you've selected. All of the global points. So we've got a master set of global points, then we have a zone set of global points. It builds your tree. So all of your points, you've named it your air handler or your rooftop unit, and you've named your zones. It puts those VAVs underneath there, builds all the trees, builds a tree for you. You'll have to add in a couple of folders that do a lot of automatic linking for you. and builds everything for you. We are currently working on the floor plans, so we've got the software in there. We're still in testing on it. By the time that people actually receive this, that should be part of the package. So everything that you need for that VAV is built. All of your global stuff is built. All of your air handler logic is all built for you. Your morning warm up, your night setback, all of those features are built for you through the integration tool. So as far as our VAV options, we've got 27 different VAV configurations. This is our basic VAV configuration. So then when we put the heat on, we've got the auxiliary heat, and we've got the 4 different types of squeeze box with auxiliary heat. Then we've got the hot water, SCR, and then we continue to go, that's floating actuator. And then we've got a parallel fan with all the same options, a parallel fan. Then we've got our series fans, and then all of the options with our series fans. We do have in there dual duct controller. The dual duct controller is still in the final stages of testing. It's not an officially released option. We need to get field testing on that. In the very near future, as soon as we get some field applications, dual duct will be completely supported, as well as the ventilation box. The ventilation box is still in testing. But the logic is done. We're still testing both of those configurations. The graphical user interface, like we've already talked about, you pick the VAV, it builds the graphic for you. The analog inputs and outputs, the digital outputs, the analog outputs, those are completely configurable to do whatever heating you need and whatever exhaust fan applications you have. The universal inputs, we have a few of them that are configurable, but most of them, they're in the certain places, so we can't change those yet. Lexicons, I'll let Kirk talk about the lexicons.
Hello, the lexicon feature will allow you the ability to modify the point names for all your controllers universally that better suit your needs. Many times we've had situations where there's a specific format that's necessary. This allows you to take our default format, apply your specific format, and then it will be applied throughout your entire system. This is a simple to use interface with 4 tabs, 1 for each type of input. They are color coded for the different types of inputs. And whether you add or delete any types of points to it, it's got a self-correction for those additional or deleted points. So this allows you, again, a simple one place to take care of a complete rename without having to do anything else to the program.
So Kirk, would you also tell us a little bit about the commissioning tool that you developed?
Yes, so every VAV controller also has a commissioning tool that will run a VAV through its paces for both the cooling damper, if it has dual duct, a hot deck damper, and with auxiliary heating, any heating stages or valves. The whole purpose of this is that it puts it through its paces. At the end of that, it puts it through its paces and conducts tests. Those tests have a pass or fail. All that information gets completed into a commissioning report. And then at the supervisor, all those reports are then combined for a single zone level report. This continuous commissioning is primarily controlled through a schedule in the supervisor, although you will have the ability to manually start the commissioning cycle or disable commissioning if it's not needed for a period of time. So the only configuration needed for this to work is to set a schedule.
Thank you, Kirk. And just a little bit of the wrap up of the product. Our goal is to get the lowest installed cost for the controller. So even though it is an IP-based controller, the controller itself costs a little bit more because of the hardware we have to put in it, and you have to run IP cabling. Those cost a little bit more. We've put in the value benefits so that when we're done at the end of the day, the total build of the tool, the commissioning that we have, the rapid integration tool, all those go to make the cost of your labor go down so that we can be extremely competitive in a bid situation. Extended life cycle. This is where our product shines. We are not beholden to hardware. We are not beholden to basically our software. Because we are using Niagara, everything that we build upon will be completely backwards compatible. When version 2.1 comes out, you upgrade your supervisor to 2.1, it will be able to see version 2.0, 2.1, and will still build the appropriate graphics. If you're in the middle of a job and version 2.1 comes out, you want those features and benefits of 2.1, they will all work together. As long as Tritium continues to support 4.0, we will be able to continue to support the product in the field. In 3 years, if you can't buy the exact same footprint that we have, the new VAV controller that we have out there will be 100% replaceable, compatible. All the tools that we have will work. You will be able to simply replace that controller with the new device. You may have to re-LAN the wires. That may be the biggest change that you have. Everything else is compatible for the extended life cycle. That could be 15 years. Very few manufacturers will be able to support their products for 15, 20 years plus. As long as we can get support for 4.0, we're going to get it. When the next versions of Niagara come out, we will do everything we can to still continue to be backwards compatible for those devices. Flexible. We've got 27 different VAV configurations. Every time I think we've seen them all, somebody comes up with another one. If you find something, let us know. We will, if it's something that should be supported, we will continue to support it. Modular. Once that device has talked to your supervisor, it's got its configuration, it's 100% standalone at that point. It will see that the supervisor's gone away. It'll go ahead and occupy itself. It will continue to run completely standalone. Upgrade the software management agreement. You don't have to pay the software management like you do for Jenny or some of the Edge products. That's for life. We've had 3 different versions of Niagara that's been released since we've started developing this. You go out there, you get the new license, you download it. So in the uptime, the spanning tree protocol gives us that extra level of redundancy out there. So that's the end of our presentation. Do we have any questions that have been asked so far?
All right, thank you, Vance and Kirk, for that presentation. We do have a couple of questions coming in. The first one is supervisor edge light devices.
Okay, one of the things that Tritium has done, recognizing that these are Edge products, we've already paid for an Edge or a Tritium license for these once. On a supervisor, and this is not a Jenny or another Edge device, it doesn't count. You have to use a full device. Supervisors have a light device license. That light device license is a 10-to-1. So every 10 VAVs that are out there with a light station only count as one device. So you can put 100 VAVs out there with a 10 device license. There is a breakdown in there on when it's more cost effective to use a Jenny or the supervisor station. This is one of the areas where the more you understand, the less you know. So we are still testing to find out exactly where that breakdown is and to make sure that we completely understand this. And we've been we've been working with this for 2 or 3 months now since 4.10 has come out, and we started understanding those edge light devices. So we will have further documentation. Our salesmen will have that information where the breakdown comes from.
Okay. Do we need to use the Belimo actuator?
You don't have to use the Belimo actuator. You can use other actuators, but we do need to have a feedback on that. In order to be Guideline 36 compliant, we have to have the feedback, and we do use the feedback as part of the logic to make sure that our controller is working. And internally, we turn things on and off based off of that actuator feedback.
Okay. Another question, what is the RS-485 best used for?
So it comes with 2 RS-485 ports. Right now, port 1 is dedicated if you're using a digital controller. Port 2 is open. We did, for a short time period, support MSTP. Niagara turned off tunneling, so we can't tunnel through BACnet right now. So we're working with Tritium to either try and get them to turn tunneling back on, or come up with their own means of tunneling. Development is still looking into this, and we will find a way eventually to support this BACnet communications. Right now, if you put it in BACnet, we don't support that anymore, just because if we have to do upgrades, if we find bugs in the software, we want to be able to fix those without touching every one of them.
Okay, great. The closed loop, can other than edges be installed on the loop, for example, thermostats, etc.?
A IP-based thermostat, we would have to look at the thermostat. The thermostat itself would have to support spanning tree. If it supports spanning tree, I suspect it probably will work. But if it's just intended to be a direct connection or a home run on that, it probably won't. But I'd love to see the thermostat. If somebody has one out there, please let us know, and we will look into it. Spanning tree, the one thing I forgot to mention about spanning tree is the network switch has to be spanning tree capable. Right now, we only support the Cisco spanning tree network switches. There are a lot of other manufacturers out there that have it. We have ordered network switches from other companies, and we're testing those. As we pass those, we will continue to have a larger line of network switches that we support.
Okay. Another question coming in, will there be any other cost-effective thermostat options?
Yes, there are. We were in the process of developing our own thermostat. We had to take a step back to continue to support with the problems in the supply chain. We have the ability to change devices in our supply chain as some devices aren't available, some aren't. So we had to take a step back, redesign our boards so that we can build using different parts in our controllers, so that we can continue to supply things to the out. But yeah, so the answer is yes. We have 2 other manufacturers that we are actively testing right now for their thermostats. There's a 3rd one coming out. So we will have more cost-effective thermostats coming out in the near future. Whenever we can, the 10K thermistor, if you don't need a set point adjustment, that's the one that we recommend right now, because it's the most cost-effective option that we have.
Okay. Expected list pricing, we do have pricing available on the pricing catalog right now under your resources, partner portal, so please go ahead and check that out there. We have a question, any thoughts on incorporating a built-in actuator?
Yes, so that is also in the development right now. Those are actively happening. And in the very near future, resources will be freed up so that we can go back and continue working on those. We've got a couple of designs on the board right now, but the reality is we're probably looking at a year before we've got a one-piece design.
Okay. Another question, tell me about the training that is required.
Okay, so the training that we have in place is a short 2-hour, roughly, hands-on training that takes you through the steps that really integrate the VAVs into the supervisor system. Now, completion of this training is a requirement before ordering, or I should say before getting support for this product. And really, it comes down to just trying to understand just in what order the configuration takes place. There is a small amount of pre-work that is required as part of this training. Essentially, it's material that goes over the hardware as well as a systems overview and then some value points. So one thing about this training is there's a small 10-question test that must be completed and passed afterwards. The information on that test is not only just the hands-on information that you will go through during the training, but also information in the pre-work as well. As Tanya mentioned, before we started, we do have this month a total of 5 trainings that are currently scheduled. The first one is occurring tomorrow at 9. Then on Thursday, the 11th, we'll be doing 2 of them. We had a large amount of demand, so we added one on Thursday. So we have one at 9 and one at 1:00 p.m. These are Central Times. And then we have another 9 a.m. on the 23rd, and finally at 1 p.m. on the 25th. So we'll be adding additional courses as we progress through this. We do have limited seating. Each course, we have a maximum of 10 people. And again, those spots are filling up. So you can register at our Learning Center for any of those. And we look forward to seeing you in training.
Yep. So, and there is no cost for the training. Link-Spring does offer that to our partners. And you can go ahead today and you can order controllers, but that product will go ahead and be manufactured, and it will sit in the warehouse until somebody at your company has completed training. After you've completed training, they will ship. So we will not ship anything to anybody, even for demonstrations, until after you've gone through the class. The class itself shows you how to use all of the value tools that we've developed, and it is worth every minute of the time. It's definitely worth it to take the class. We feel that strongly that you need to take the class. We're not going to sell this to anybody who does not.
Quick question that's going along with the training right now. Someone brought up remote web training. Is that a possibility?
Right now, yes. Right now, that is our method for delivering the training. So if you did any remote training over the last couple of years, we follow the same format.
All right. A couple other questions, and then we'll probably get ready to close here. Can you provide typed sequences that can be downloaded per application so that we may place on our engineering drawings to submit to an engineer?
Yes, we're working on the way to get through the legal stuff, and I probably started on this a little bit later than I should have, on how we can legally distribute Guideline 36. Right now, you have to go to ASHRAE and pay for the sequences. We're trying to get a way to give that to our partners. So right now, you have to pull the sequences yourself, but we will get a way to provide those sequences.
Okay, thank you. And last question, I think, before we go ahead and wrap up this webinar for you. Do you have a document that details the 27 sequence options?
There's a user guide that has grown and grown and grown over the last year and a half since Kirk and I have started building this user guide. Has everything in there, a description of the sequences, all of the different BAV types in there, how they're implemented, what to look for, how to do everything. That user's guide is on our website right now, so you can go ahead and pull that user guide down.
Yes, that's correct. You can reach that user guide by logging in to your resources portal, partner portal, and it's available underneath our Genesis Edge VAV technical documentation. All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate everyone who was able to join us. We are excited about this newly launched product and hope you are excited as well. Please go ahead and feel free to reach out to marketing@linkspring.com should you have any additional questions or have a need to tracking down any details or information or technical documentation. Again, we thank you, and we'll go ahead and close out this webinar. Have a great afternoon.